I spent most of my life in Hamilton, and when the transfer station here opened up, I thought it was amazing, right? And that's the problem with New Zealand right now, is that for 30 years we've been greenwashing by hiding things in transfer stations. So New Zealanders think that's how we treat our waste. New Zealanders think that the clean concrete swimming pool that we see, they push it down the hole and it disappears, and then then the cover comes across, it's dealt with, and we're all good. But that's not the reality. The reality is it's going into a bin, it's been pushed into a bin, it's been trucked out, more carbon on the road, more trucks, more damage to the roads, it's been taken to a landfill, it's been tipped out, right? It's then been bulldozed, and then we end up back at square one again. But we can't see it because all we see is transfer stations. They hide it from us. Whereas back in our day, we saw, because our parents used to drive into the landfills. We used to unload our cars. Now it's a concrete swimming pool, so we think that's clean. So everyone thinks that's our process, but it isn't. They then go to giant monolithic landfills, and the process continues, and then the leachate happens, and then the flaring happens. We can do better. In the latest one that's just been consented, and it's been consented to a company from Auckland, privately owned. The old owner, as I just mentioned, has just been punished in the environmental court. The consent has been granted, so he has to achieve the standards in the future for 8 million cubic meters of waste, which equates to 16 million tonnes. And for the 50% of the levy to the regional councils who granted the consent, regional and district council, I think it was Waikato Regional and Waikato District, the money that will go to them, which will be 50% of the waste levy out of that 16 million tonnes, will be $450 million.
So we have a vested interest as a nation in landfill, and we have a big profit chain that all works around putting stuff into the ground and covering it over.
Correct.
And that upsets you because you contribute to that landfill. How much material would your business send to landfill every year?
I think like the larger shredders, like ours, would be at least 100 tonnes a day.
100 tonnes
a day
of material.
It doesn't upset me that we have to find a waste process. It upsets me that we can do better and that process is being blocked. If all we have is a landfill, then that's what we have to use. But if we can do better, and it's better for the environment, then why would we not make that step and add to our toolkit and pick up our game to another level?
And that thing, that level, that step up, is waste to energy.
That level is the treatment of waste to create energy.
Hi, I'm Andrew, one of the Paewira team, and here are some facts about waste in New Zealand. With one of the lowest recycling rates in the OECD, New Zealand landfills around 12.6 million tonnes of waste a year. Per head of population, this ranks us among the most wasteful countries in the developed world. Our waste strategy is built around landfilling. Increasingly seen as a largely unsustainable practice, it is being phased out in many territories including the EU, Western Australia, the UK, Japan, Singapore, China and South Korea. Rather than sending it to landfill, these territories turn their non-recyclable waste into valuable resources like electricity.
One of the ironies of life, we live in a beautiful country and we pride ourselves on being one of the most clean and green places. But, actually there's still a lot we can learn from the rest of the world. If you think about, our waste, it's simply not sustainable. It's simply not entirely clean and green to just bury it all, as we always do, in the ground. There are other things that we can do. And, waste to energy is definitely, should be part part of the mix. We can learn from what they've done in the Germanys and the Swedens and, you know, the North Americas, the Australias for that matter, in this regard, where, you know, to highest health and safety, highest environmental standard, they are using waste to make energy for their people.